Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the fourth mini video lecture here. We will be covering cell division today, mitosis and meiosis. So if you remember from earlier on in your unit, you guys were learning about asexual reproduction and the different types of asexual reproduction. And how unicellular creatures used binary fission in order to duplicate its DNA prior to splitting. And so in the picture here, you see a paramecium, which is a unicellular creature, and it's in the midst of splitting or duplicating its DNA and splitting into two new identical cells. So with multicellular organisms, though, it's a little bit different. Multicellular organisms use a process called mitosis. It's similar in the fact that the parent and daughter cells are the same, but it takes place in a multicellular organism, okay? So it takes place in your body cells. So this includes your skin cells, your blood cells, your muscle cells, and it produces two identical cells. The only difference is that it's in a multicellular organism. And mitosis is responsible for your growth and cellular repair as well. And so, and also humans produce millions of new cells each second this way. So our body is constantly generating new cells because there's million cells that make up us humans or other multicellular creatures, and cells don't last forever, and so we need to be constantly duplicating and making more new cells. So I'm just going to do a brief overview here of mitosis. So you start with, if this was a human cell, you would start with 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs. That DNA duplicates, and then they line up in the middle of the cell, ready to be split and separate into two sides of the cell. A new nucleus is then formed over these duplicated chromosomes, and then they start to split, and at the end, you're left with two cells that are identical to one another, and they have 46 chromosomes each, and or 23 pairs. And the parent and daughter cell are the exact same. That's the key part here. Now, a way I remember that mitosis is our body cells is that mitosis happens in our toes. So mitosis. And so that's a way for you to remember that. It takes place in your body cells. Now, the other process is meiosis, which is a type of cell division that is used to produce your sex cells or your gametes. And they only have half of the DNA of a normal cell. So because each gamete only has half of the DNA of a normal cell, when the male and female gametes come together to form a zygote, that zygote now has a complete set of DNA, which develops then into a new organism. So meiosis involves two cell divisions, not just one like mitosis. So if you recall that we have paired chromosomes, one from mom and one from dad, a gamete must contain only one copy of each different chromosome. So the chromosomes have no pair in gamete cells. So to do this, the cells must divide twice. If sex cells contain the same amount of DNA as every other cell, like all our body cells have 46 chromosomes, if gametes also had 46 chromosomes, the zygote then would receive twice the amount of DNA it needs. So for meiosis here, starts out similar to mitosis. The chromosomes duplicate. The homologous pairs pair up here. So in mitosis, the homologous pairs didn't pair up, but they do in meiosis. And when this happens, they could experience a process called crossover, where a bit of DNA from each chromosome transfers over to each other. So they're sharing some DNA. Remember, these are paired chromosomes, so they are chromosomes that have the same genes on them, and they will cross over some DNA here, and this increases variation between generations. Like the homologous pairs now line up in the middle. They separate to separate sides of the cell. A new nucleus will form over these chromosomes, and then they divide out. And now for these two cells, they don't duplicate themselves because currently they have 46 chromosomes and they want to get down to 23, right? So the chromosomes now line up in the middle. They separate out to separate sides of the cell. New nucleus form over these chromosomes. And at the end, you are left with 4 gamete cells that are all different and have 23 chromosomes as opposed to 46. So just a side-by-side comparison here. Remember, meiosis is for gametes, your sex cells. Your eggs will have 23 chromosomes and the sperm have 23 chromosomes. And for mitosis, these are your body cells. Mitosis happens in your toes. So it's a body cell. These are going to be cloned cells. They're going to be the exact same, and they're going to have 46 chromosomes. Looking at the meiosis side here, we see that the chromosomes are here. They duplicate. They experience some crossover, and the homologous pairs line up and are separated to new sides of the cell. So now we have 2 cells. No duplication happens here, and the chromosomes are split and divide again. So we're left with 4 sex cells at the end that are completely different and have 23 chromosomes for the humans. Now, remember, other multicellular organisms use this process as well too. So it's not always going to be 23 chromosomes. Different organisms have different amounts of chromosomes. So remember, chimpanzees have 24 pairs of chromosomes, and they vary between organisms, right? So just remember that other organisms use this process as well. And here for mitosis, we see it starts the same as meiosis. It duplicates itself. The chromosomes then split, and we have a parent and daughter cell that are the exact same and have 46 chromosomes. And that's essentially meiosis and mitosis there. So that's sort of it for section 3 in your textbook. The next few videos are going to be on section 4, and the first one is going to be on reduction of biological diversity. So let us know if you guys have any questions, and thanks for watching this video.